Defiant in his first TV interview in months, the French president said he had no regrets about his controversial pension reform bill or forcing it through the French parliament by decree.
This reform is necessary, and I say this to the French people. I don't enjoy doing this, but it is out of a sense of duty that I committed to this.
Macron offered no concessions to opponents of the reform. He said he wouldn't reshuffle his cabinet or change his prime minister, leaving some opposition MPs unimpressed.
By symbolically defying France's working class, Mr. Macron has highlighted his contempt for a part of the population, contempt that was the hallmark of his pensions bill.
France's trade unions say the reform is unfair because it raises the retirement age by 2 years to 64 and will have a greater impact on poorer workers. Since January, they've led strikes and protests in the country against the reform. In Paris, a strike by garbage collectors is in its second week. President Macron will certainly hope that the arguments that he made in his television interview will calm the situation and quell the protests. For now, though, that seems unlikely. Some students and teachers demonstrated outside the Higher Education Ministry in the city. These teachers say the government's ignoring people's concerns.
The government is acting as if nothing is happening on the streets, and that as if having millions of people protesting peacefully doesn't mean anything and doesn't change anything.
It's not just an education issue, it's all public services which are being really destroyed by these neoliberal policies today. So this rage has stacked up, and now people are claiming the streets because there's no other way to be heard today.
Trade union leaders hope the continued protests will put pressure on the government to scrap its reform. For now, there's no indication that the president will back down. Macron says the reform will help sustain the pension system for future generations, and he wants it to be signed into law soon. Natacha, Butler, Al Jazeera, Paris.